The picturesque town of Largs on the west coast of Scotland was the setting for the second edition of the Senior British League Premier Cup. And while you're here, make sure that you've subscribed and follow all of our social media channels so you can be the first to see new content right as it drops. But back to the show. 7 Premier Division teams were joined by Championship side Nottingham as the competition kicked off with the quarterfinals. Hosts North Ayrshire had a tough task against Premier Division champions Brighton, but rose to the occasion to claim a 4-2 victory. Meanwhile, the holders, Bats of Harlow, got their defence off to a solid start with a 4-1 win over Fusion. A young team from the Ormo club in Belfast found it tough against Drumchapel Glasgow as the Scottish side won 4-1 to progress to the semi-finals. Drumchapel Glasgow were joined there by Ormsby, who defeated Nottingham 4-0 despite some trademark flamboyant shots from Nottingham's Joe Sawyer. The SBL Premier Cup sees all 8 teams play until they have a finishing order from 1 to 8, so the losing quarter-finalists began the playoffs for 5th to 8th places. Brighton has always been a club which prides itself on breaking down barriers, and Joseph Langham Ferreira took that literally as he took on Fusion's Lorestas Trumpauskas. And although Trumpauskas won that match, Brighton came back to win 4-3. In the match between Ormo and Nottingham, Joe Sawyer was at it again, going through his full repertoire against Adam Faulkner, but he could not prevent a 4-1 defeat. In the semi-finals, hosts North Ayrshire, having beaten league champions Brighton, were now hoping to upset the holders. There was plenty of excellence on show, but Bats always had the edge, and Josh Bennett completed a 4-2 victory as he won against Victor Gorman. That left Drumchapel Glasgow to carry Scottish hopes, and their semi-final against Ormsby turned into a thriller which went all the way to the final match. Ormsby recovered from losing the first match to take a 3-1 lead, but Drumchapel hit back at 3-3. The decider saw Martin Perry, who will be competing at the Paralympics in Paris this summer, take on GB Start squad member Abraham Salado, and it was the teenager who prevailed to send Ormsby into the final. Day 2 began with the playoffs to decide the final standings from 3rd to 8th. Fusion overcame Nottingham 4-1 to take 7th spot, with Josh Bruce's win over Owen Brown going 15-13 in the 5th game. Ormo came back from 2-0 down to level at 2-2 against Brighton. Young Padder Sheridan taking a notable victory over Paralympic champion Will Bailey, but Brighton went on to win it 4-2 to seal 5th place. The battle for the bronze medals was an all-Scotland fight between North Ayrshire and Drumchapel Glasgow, and it was the hosts who came out on top by a 4-0 scoreline. And so to the final, as Ormsby tried to loosen Bat's grip on the trophy and take it back to Middlesbrough. Chris Duran got Bats off to the ideal start with a 3-0 win over Adam Webster. And when Josh Bennett beat stubborn opponent Graham Barella 3-1, Bats were halfway to the overall victory. The doubles pairing from Ormsby of Graham Barella and Abraham Salado couldn't quite turn the tide in the doubles as they faced Josh Bennett and Alexi Duan.
Another good fishing rally. Oh, lovely. Playing for Bats.
And in the final game of the whole event, it was left to the Frenchman Duan to bring home the trophy as he saw off a young but spirited Abraham Salado. Ormsby certainly had their moments, but not enough to put Bats under sustained pressure as they held on to the trophy that they won last season.
I think the main thing that we did to sort of like retain the title was we just took every match as serious as we can. Went in full focus. There's no gimmies at this tournament, so yeah, took every match as serious as we could, and we all played really well, and that was about it. Really.
Like I said, just full credit to North Ayrshire. They were probably like the team of the weekend, taking outright and then giving us a real run for their money. But they've done a fantastic job hosting it here, yeah, so full credit to North Ayrshire.
New experience, my first season there in the British League, and I meet very nice people there, and I mean in my team, but also everyone in the league, so I had a very good time over there.
I think when I bought the trophy, I said if whoever wins it twice keeps it. Yeah. So I don't know what you're going to do next season, but also really proud of the guys. We always play as a unit. We get on really well. We support each other. They're a great bunch of guys. Obviously, they're decent players, and just really proud. It was a tough cup as it was last year, and really proud to have maintained it and kept the trophy. Really, really happy.
So it's 2 on the bounce for the boys from Bats. Head over to TTE TV to revisit every single shot from the SBL Premier Cup, and keep your eyes peeled on our Instagram channel for some more of the best bits from the weekend, as well as all the build-up as we gear up for another huge season in British League next year.